first game of your Converse Cavalcade of basketball, the final of the National Invitation Tournament. Brigham Young versus Dayton. There are the Dayton Flyers in their pregame warm-up. A capacity crowd in the Garden as team captains Hutchins and Minson of BYU and Campbell of Dayton meet the officials at midcourt. Coaches Stanley Watts of Brigham Young at left and Tom Blackburn of Dayton posed with time at Cappy Lane. There's a vigorous cheer in the huge New York arena led by this peppy trio from Provo, Utah. And now everything's set for the start of the National Invitation Final. The Dayton Flyers are wearing the white jerseys and they're taking command right now. The ball. Norris weighs 225 pounds, but he can certainly move that weight around. Here he is, flying in to put the Flyers out in front. Brigham Young promptly ties it up with Mel Hutchins over the head one-hander. Dayton's plan of attack is to set up their 6'7" center, Don Meineke, in the pivot. Let's watch how smoothly they can do it, or more particularly, what Meineke will do with it. Here it comes, and a perfect pass to Boyle for a score. Here's Brigham Young staying right in there. Hillman's one-hander draws a real college yell from the Cougar bench. But let's watch Dayton, and in slow motion. Their big man Meineke is being too closely guarded on the inside, so the Flyers try from the outside. Dick, the beauty that doesn't even touch the rim. That kind of accuracy deserves a hand. It's 14-10 in favor of Dayton, and here they've got that apple again. Only this time it's Norris. He's coming over to the same position that Campbell was in. Now he has it. And he's just as accurate. There it is. Going home. Brigham Young, however, can rely on the squirming, twisting talent of Roland Minson. Here we see him in slow motion, and he's something to see. There it goes. It's now 16-15 in favor of Dayton, and coming up is a nifty score by the Flyers. Watch them cross up Brigham Young's defense. Christensen of BYU is blocked by his own man as Pete Boyle drives through to lay it up and in. Coach Stan Watts of Brigham Young is not pleased, but cheer up, Coach. Your Utah boys are doing very well out there. They're electrifying the Garden with their brand of play. There's Minson with the ball, and he's strictly high voltage. It's 18-17 in favor of Dayton, and here come the Flyers. Meineke can't shoot, but Norris is in that same spot on the outside, and he gets the same result. Back comes BYU. Christensen making a one-hand shot from the hip. Good old Western shooting, and the fans love it. The score is now tied, 24-all, but the tie is broken when Roland Minson gets hold of that ball. He's poisoned for Dayton. With the first half just about over, both teams are eager to score before the buzzer. When a Dayton set shot is off, Brigham Young is back in business, and the Cougars can do business very quickly. Russ Hillman's in the corner, and 2 points are in the bag. Dayton with the ball and in a hurry. They're followed like hawks. But for the only time in the game, Meineke gets around the marvelous guarding of Mel Hutchins, and Brigham Young leads at the half 28-26. After intermission, the Cougars of Brigham Young get the ball and start things off in very fine style. Romney over to Hutchins, who flicks it to Hillman. Very pretty work and a very pretty hand. Brigham Young is leading 32-26 when Joseph feeds to Norris, who hooks one in for the Ohio team. But Brigham Young has come back roaring in the second half. With his statuesque one-hander from the side, Mel Hutchins keeps the Cougars howling. Oh, the lady likes this basketball. And here's something for you. Brigham Young in slow motion. Collaboration between Romney and Minson, with Romney making the payoff. Pretty play. Brigham Young now leads 37-28. They're threatening to break the game wide open, but here in slow motion we see the Dayton Flyers. They're fighting hard to cut down that lead. Norris is up with a one-hander that rings up 2 for the Ohio team. But the Cougars come right back. They're red hot, every one of them. Mel Hutchins does his specialized overhead one-hander. Swish. The Garden is jumping, and so are these razzle-dazzle stars from Brigham Young. Roland Minson with the ball, voted the tournament's most valuable player. He demonstrates his value right now. Is he on fire? 43-31 in favor of Brigham Young. Minson personally racks up 26 points for the night. Where is he now? Well, there he is. Brigham Young is now ahead 50-31. Its victory is assured. Dayton had hoped to be the Cinderella team of the tournament. Coming in as a dark horse, they had knocked out 3 other teams, including top-seeded St. John's University. Norris makes a beautiful set shot. Though Dayton's cause is a lost one, they're in there scrapping. Watch this. Ritchie falls and Meineke gets his wild pass. But look at the defensive work of Hutchins. When Meineke tries to shoot, Hutchins takes it away from him. Brigham Young is off again. Jerry Romney misses, but not Joe Ritchie. There's a standing ovation in the Garden for this glittering team from Utah. Dayton fights to the very last second, but at the buzzer, the score is 62-43 in favor of Brigham Young, champions of the 1951 National Invitation Tournament. A pro basketball thriller in Madison Square Garden. The Rochester Royals, champions of the NBA, versus the New York Knickerbockers. When these two tangled, it was always close. This was one of the most spine-tingling encounters they had. Rochester had won their last meeting 91-88 in an overtime. On this night, because of an afternoon performance by Sonia Henney, the Garden's basketball floor lay directly over the ice. Everything cool but the rivalry. Rochester takes the tap. Former City College star Red Holden brings it in for the Royals. He can't get by Lump. Out it goes to Davies. Davies to Jack Coleman. Coleman shoots, and the Royals are on their way. Over the 10-second line for New York comes Max Zaslowski. Over to Barilla. Back to Max, and look at him go. His one-hander is good. Brother, these two are close. The Knicks were to become the champions of the Eastern Division in the NBA, and the Royals the tops of the Western Division. Watch Red Holzman come in there. Underneath and up. A beauty. Both teams playing a brilliant brand of basketball tonight. Now it's the Knicks. Zaslowski looking for a man. Out to Clifton. He feeds Barilla, and there's his deadly hook shot. He's a real pro. Still very close. Late in the first quarter, the Knicks are ahead, 16-14. Holzman of the Royals has the ball now. Just follow him, fans. From underneath again, a marvelous play, and it's tied up at 16-all. Superlative basketball every minute of the way. Getting into the second quarter of this tense, hard-fought game, the New York Knicks have moved into the lead, but it's just a mere 2 points, 26-24. Ray Lump's shot is missed, and Bill Calhoun takes the rebound. And fans, just feast your eyes on this Rochester play. Davies to Calhoun for a score. Vince Barilla is in the pivot for New York. He gets the ball now, and it's one more bucket for the Knicks. Back to business come the Royals. At this point in the second period, they lead 30-29. That's how close this game has been. Davies misses a set shot, and Gallatin has got it for New York. Out to McGuire, who shoots a long pass to Simmons, and the Knicks go ahead by a point. What a battle royal this one is. Madison Square Garden is really jumping tonight. Now it's Rochester moving that ball. Calhoun has got it. Over to Coleman. He sets. No good, but Frank Saul follows it up, and this time it's in. Now the Knicks. McGuire to Gallatin. Out to Zaslowski. His one-hander is up and rims the basket. It's taken off by Gallatin, New York's best rebound man. Out to Zaslowski. To McGuire, who feeds Barilla. Watch that hook. It's good again. The Royals in possession. Following their pattern, they've got Johnson in the pivot position. Bill Holzman feeds him the ball. All set for a shot, but it's up and no good. And Simmons rebounds for New York. Barilla over to McGuire, to Zaslowski, and when Max misses, Gallatin taps it in. Back down court go the Royals. Never a let-up in the pressure by these two terrific teams. A one-hander by McNamee is missed. Vandeweghe clears the balls, and here comes New York on a fast break. Connie Simmons lays it in. Rochester now back on maneuvers. Not only are the offensives of the two teams good tonight, their defensive work is equally brilliant. Look at them follow their men. McNamee finally hits with a one-hand bank shot. Rochester moves into a slender lead, and now it's the Knicks. Dick McGuire drives past Wanza, but misses the layup. Coleman takes over for the Royals, and here they come. 3-on-2. Calhoun misses, but Coleman taps it in. Once more, New York. In spite of a pretty pass-off play from McGuire to Zaslowski, the Knicks are behind at the half, 47-43. Flying back into action after a halftime rest, the Knicks feed their high-scoring ace, Vince Barilla. Beautiful. But the Royals have rested too. Johnson brings it down court, and Arnie's given all the time in the world. He shoots. Good. Now it's the Knicks. McGuire, the playmaker, flips to Captain. Around the rim and in. Man, is this game a tight one. Arnie Risen's pass into Johnson is deflected, and here comes the Knickerbocker Express. Zaslowski dribbles down. He passes over to Barilla, and Vince fakes his man off the court. 2 more for New York. The Royals are behind again by just 2 points, 71-69, but they're proving to be very accurate tonight from the outside. Here's Bob Davies. Swish. And now keep your eyes on the Knicks. McGuire to Zaslowski. A beauty. 12 times the score has been tied. 15 times the lead has changed hands. But at this critical point of the game, the Royals have taken the lead. They're playing careful ball, and their big man, Risen, is murder in that pivot post. In a frenzied finish, Max Zaslowski races down the middle and keeps New York in contention. 76-78, but the Royals can still count on Arnie Risen. He's good once more. But now the excitement is really on. In the final 17 seconds of play, the indomitable Knicks tied it up at 80 all, with Gallatin scoring the vital bucket, and New York went on to win in overtime, 88-83. Eastern final of the NCAA in Madison Square Garden. Illinois versus Kentucky. There are the Kentuckians in their pregame warm-up. Their All-America center, 7-foot Bill Spivey, towers over Illinois team captain Don Sutherland. Meet the coaches, Harry Combs of Illinois at left and Adolph Rupp of Kentucky. Each of the coaches gives his boys that last-minute talking to, and we're almost ready to roll in one of the most exciting basketball games of the year. Here's the tap-off. Spivey jumping against Bob Peterson of the Illini. Illinois, wearing the white, takes possession, and the champions of the Big Ten Conference set up their offense. Fletcher almost loses it, but he doesn't. And here's a pretty play for Illinois. Into Peterson, who drives under Spivey to lay it in. The Fighting Illini are on their way. Here comes Kentucky, and let's watch how well they employ that 7-foot center of theirs. Spivey's waiting for it. And he scores easily. The fans of Madison Square Garden are seeing one of the best college games of the year. And here's some of this brilliant basketball in slow motion. Hagan shooting for Kentucky. On the target. Still more slow motion now of Illinois. If you liked Hagan's shot, just look at Sunderledge of the Illini. He is great. Illinois leads at this point 15-14. Here's a nice action study of Bill Spivey. Watch him make up his mind. There it goes. But this one misses, and Clive Fulmer rebounds for Illinois. A long pass to Sunderledge. 2-on-1. And Irv Bamoras puts it up just as easy as pie. But these two college champions are running nip and tuck. Ramsey arches another set shot to tie it up at 26 all. So closely matched are these two teams that the score is tied 11 times in the course of the game. Sunderledge's one-hander is missed, but Peterson puts the rebound in. It's now 34-29 in favor of the Illini. Kentucky has the ball. Ramsey in the corner. Both his one-hander and Spivey's tap are missed. Illinois ball. Bad news for Kentucky. Here it comes. Rod Fletcher with the ball, and just look at him drive underneath. 37-32, Illinois ahead, and now for Kentucky. Linville's one-hander rims the basket, and Fletcher gets the rebound. This boy Fletcher is a man to watch. Don't lose him. Here he comes into the picture again, driving underneath and staying there until it's good. Illinois leads in intermission, 39-32. Coming back for the second half, the Wildcats go to work on Illinois' 7-point lead, and they've got the man to do it, 7-foot Spivey. There's that looping hook. Big Bill is high scorer for the night with 28 points, but trading baskets with him is Fletcher of Illinois. There he is, making 2 of his 21-point total for the game. It's 41-35 in favor of the Illini, but here's Spivey, and Kentucky is 2 points closer. But now let's watch this red-hot play in cool, slow motion. Fletcher up with a jump shot. 4 pairs of hands under the basket, and Bamoras taps it in. 46-45 in favor of Illinois. Kentucky with the ball. Spivey is wheeling in. But this time he's off, and his old friend Fletcher recovers for the Illini. Watch this, it's going to be neat. Ted Beach brings it down across midcourt. And here's that driving man for Illinois. Fletcher going through to pour it in. But Kentucky comes back to tie and move ahead. Here's Bobby Watson with a one-hander. It drops through, and Kentucky leads 63-60. And now look at this. Fletcher has the ball stolen away from him by Ramsey. 2-on-1 for the Wildcats. Over to Skippy Whitaker, who lays it in. Sunderledge of Illinois with the ball. With his beautiful brand of shooting, he ties the score at 70-all. Stop that man, yells Kentucky coach Rupp. There's scarcely more than a minute left to go. Kentucky Spivey is out of the game on personals, but Linville comes through to make it 72-70 in favor of Kentucky. It's now less than a minute to go. There are exactly 50 seconds left when Bamora's set shot ties it up at 72-all. 40 seconds remain. Kentucky's ball. Linville with another jump shot. And the Wildcats lead 74-72. 30 seconds now. And Sunderledge of Illinois ties it again. 74-74. How frenzied a finish can you get? 20 seconds left. Ramsey passes to Linville, who's all alone, and that's the ball game. 76-74 in favor of Kentucky after a fantastic final minute. In the Boston Garden, the first NBA East-West All-Star game, the dream game for the pros. First, let's look at some of the personalities. Here's Walter Brown, president of the Boston Celtics, seated at left, talking with Maurice Podloff, head of the National Basketball Association, at right. And now close-ups of the stars. For the East, Bob Cousy of the Boston Celtics. Easy Ed McCauley, former St. Louis star, now with Boston. Dolph Shea, Syracuse ace, formerly of NYU. From the New York Knicks, a trio of stars. From left to right, Vince Spirilla, Harry Gallatin, and Tricky Dick McGuire. From the Philadelphia Warriors come whiz kid Andy Phillip, Paul Arizin, ex-Villanova great, and a real pro veteran, Jumpin' Joe Fultz. Rounding out the East squad is Big Red Rocher of the Baltimore Bullets. And now for the West, Jim Pollard, George Mikan, and Mickelson, the big three of the Minneapolis Lakers. Here's Frank Bryan, Dead-Eye Dick of the Tri-City Blackhawks, and his teammate, Dyke Edelman, all-around athlete from Illinois. Two Kentucky immortals, Alex Groza and Ralph Beard, now the Indianapolis Olympians. Larry Faust, formerly of La Salle, now a pro for the Fort Wayne Pistons. And Fred Schaus, also a standout of Fort Wayne. Rounding out the West team is Bob Davies of the Rochester Royals. The officials, Pat Kennedy and Charlie Ekman. And speaking of officials, there's a real old-timer on hand, Oswald Tower. Ossie has been a member of the Official Rules Committee since 1910 and is editor of the Basketball Guide. That tap-off, however, was just ceremony. Here's the real McCord. The ball goes to East, wearing the white jerseys, and they go to work, but fast. In the corner, Dolph Shea shooting, and the Easterners lead 2-0. Ralph Beard brings the ball back for the West. Let's see what they can do. Davies has it. Driving in, but a shot is beautifully blocked by Shays. More ball hawking by the East, and they've got the apple. Bob Cousy with a wonderful brand of dribbling. On to Shays, and two more for the East. The Easterners continue to lead the way. They're putting up a mighty effective defense, too. West is finding it hard to penetrate. Davies, over to Beard. Now to Pollard, into Groza in the corner. George Mikan is in the pivot. He's the man they want to feed. Here it comes. George's shot is off, but West still has the ball. And Alex Groza pops it up and in. East in possession, and time to hear from another star. He's Vince Spirilla of the New York Knicks. Take it away, Vincent. Swish. The Eastern All-Stars are really hawking that ball. Mikan gets the shot, but it's missed, and here we have the East again. Joe Fultz holds it up. Over to Phillip. On to Shays, and here's a pretty screen. A pretty basket, too. The East is rolling right along. They lead 21-14. The West could stand a little help. Davies' set shot is on the button. The West is now starting to catch on fire. They're going to try a little ball stealing, too, and it looks like they're going to do some scoring. Edelman misses, but Dyke doesn't fail on his second chance. 21-19 for the East. That's Paul Arizin with the ball. And he's right on the beam. East is proving hard to catch. But here's Frankie Bryant on a nifty play right down the middle. East retaliates quickly. A long pass to Shays and 2 points for their side. The East is playing rugged ball. Their defense remains as spirited as ever. Rebound specialist Harry Gallatin takes over for the Easterners, and coming along is a neat fast break. Barilla on the payoff end. If you like that, look at this. Mikan's nifty bounce pass to Shouts for a Western score. More pretty play. Phillips sends a perfect lead pass to McCauley for an Eastern basket. The East is staying up there in the lead. They're ahead here in the second quarter, 33-22. Davies tries a set shot. It rims the basket, and Shays rebounds for the East, and there they go. Veteran star Joe Fulks does the honors on this one. For the West now, needing points, Jim Pollard feeds Groza. There's his hook, up and in. The East in possession again. Fulks' jump shot is off. Shays rebounds and gives it to Phillip. His set shot rims the basket, and that's all the missing East is allowed. West takes over, and this is something to see. Davies flips to Beard for a bullseye. Very nice play, but back roars East with an eye-catching score by McCauley. And that's just about the story of this East-West All-Star game. East shows just a bit more cohesion in its play as they out-razzle-dazzle West in this dream game of the pros and go on to win it 111-94. Basketball special for our Converse highlights of the year. The fabulous Harlem Globetrotters busting in the Madison Square Garden to play the College All-Americans. The fun starts early as the court jesters of basketball warm up. Here's the opening tap-off. The Trotters take possession. The greatest showmen in basketball. The Globetrotters are the travelingest, winningest team on earth. But right now, they're getting the feel of the ball. There's Haynes going up the middle for a push shot. It's off, but Goose Tatum recovers for a hook that counts. The All-Americans bring it back in their mighty rugged opposition. Ernie Barrett's one-hander is perfect. But look at this finesse. Haynes dribbling, faking, and shooting beautifully. Pretty, the lady says. And here's some of this pretty play in slow motion. The Trotters passing it around carefully before taking a shot. Okay, Robinson, shoot. So wish. What an offense, but what a defense, too. Watch this. Robinson deflects Sinicola's pass and bats it to Haynes. It's 3-on-1. Over to Tatum on the far side of the court, and it's as good as gold. The All-Stars stay right up there with the Trotters, however, and at this point the score is tied at 22-all. A tie is something that never lasts long in basketball. Robinson sinks another one off the board. The All-Americas, Ranzino has tough luck on this shot, but Harvard's Ed Smith taps it in. It's now 27-26 in favor of the Collegians. Clarence Wilson sets. No good, but look how those Trotters can recover. Tatum's sweeping hook is in there. The first half is just about over now. The Trotters back in the lead, 32-31. Ranzino has more tough luck with the set shot, but here come the Globetrotters. A long pass to Tatum, and just look at his incredible hook shooting. The Trotters lead at halftime, 34-31. Back for the second half, and more basketball wizardry by the Trotters. Robinson storming in to score. The Trotters lead 37-34, but the Collegians are in there fighting. Tulane's Mel Payton sets. No good, and Pop Gates has the rebound. Another long pass to the Goose, and it's gone. What a crowd pleaser he is. But here's Zeke Sinicola pleasing the crowd himself. A great little play of that boy. In slow motion now, the dribbling talent of Marcus Haynes. He passes out to Robinson, whose eye is on the basket. It's good. Top-notch basketball by both teams. Columbia's John Azery tries a tricky pass here, but Wilson intercepts. And here goes the Goose. Watch him in this action. He passes to Wilson, who misses a layup. But Tatum grabs the rebound, and Tatum doesn't miss. Another cheer for the Goose. But now it's time for the Trotters to indulge in a little bit of court jesting. And no one can do that better than the maestro of the dribble, Marcus Haynes. Don Sunderledge finally breaks up his little sport, but the entire garden is rocking. More burglary by the Trotters and more spectacular play by Tatum. There he is. His shot is good, but he crashed to the floor. He's bumped his head. Timeout for first aid. The Goose is flat on his back. They put in a call for the smelling salts. Here it comes. However, the Goose is raring to go. If he can still breathe, that is. He's got a foul shot coming on the play. Watch him now. Everybody up with the Goose. Goose is asking for another chance. And the fans in the garden are for him 100%. The Trotters ball again with only 2 minutes to play in the game. They now lead 64-54, and this is the Trotters' way of putting on a freeze. An incredible bunch of athletes, plenty of daring slapstick, but at the same time, plenty of good straight basketball mixed in with the routine. The Trotters go on to win it, 65-58, with one more bit of clowning by Tatum. Just pity the poor bald referee, but what a marvelous finale of basketball. It's a fitting finale, too, to this series of thrilling highlights of the 1950-51 basketball season, featuring some of the very best games and featuring some of the brightest stars in the game today. This is Marty Glickman saying, we hope you've enjoyed this sports parade. Another great Converse cavalcade of basketball, America's #1 spectator sport. Brought to you by the makers of America's #1 basketball shoe, Converse.